This is a very critical time for product research right now. And this video applies to you if you are looking for something to sell during Q4 season, which is the season we are in right now, or if you are trying to find a product that will be sustained all year round. Now, this is a very common question because during this time of the year, there is a lot of different statistics when you do your product research. And for the most part, some products can be inflated. So the question you may ask is, okay, this product has really high sales, but will they be high throughout the entire year, or are they just high right now because maybe there is some kind of season going on, whether it's any type of holiday, not even necessarily Q4, or if it's Q4, right? We're in this big season right now. So today we're going to actually be breaking down those trends, and I'm going to teach you how to watch out for those patterns. So if you are in a position where you are looking for a sustainable product all year round, you will be able to identify that and know what products are safe. And also if you're on the opposite end and trying to find a profitable product, maybe just for Q4. I'm going to be showing you some graphs and easy ways to identify this. Welcome back to my channel. My name is Karina, if it's your first time on here or not, and of course I teach Amazon FBA. If you want to learn more information about all of the programs and tools I have, they're going to be linked down below. I'm going to be using the program AMZScout in this, so you can actually get it at the link down below, and it will give you access to all of these charts I'm showing you right now. So let's just take a look at this screenshot right now. Say you're doing your product research and you find a product like this. You can take a look at the revenue, you can take a look at the price, and you may come to the conclusion that, wow, the sales of this product are really high and it's doing really well. Should I get into this? Because at first glance, it could seem amazing. I'm just using this as an example. Typically, I do recommend markets that are doing a little bit lower in sales. And if you click into it and see what AMZScout has to say about it, you can see that everything looks great. There is a high profit margin. The demand for the product is high. The competition is not really that high. Competition is medium. So perhaps you can do well if you get into this product. However, if you don't do the following, and that is checking the trends, you can accidentally get into a product or a niche hot topic during a certain time period. That's why I advise everybody on this channel and in any of my programs to always check statistics. One of them is checking Google Trends to see kind of all over the web how the product demand is doing. And another one is actually looking at Amazon data. And AMZScout can show you a graph like this. So let's take a look here. Let's pay attention to the orange sidebar. So the orange essentially means sales, and obviously the higher the better. And as you can see here, there are spikes in the beginning of the graph and in the end of the graph. And if you look at the bottom, you can see that these sales are mostly around Halloween on 10/21 to 2019, and it sells all the way till it starts to drop down kind of in the beginning of November, right? So clearly the demand is quite low. And if you fast forward it to the year 2020, essentially the demand kind of increases a little bit, but you don't see the huge spike until much later. So imagine if you are doing product research, say mid-October, and you find this product and you see the really high sales and you decide to get into the product. By the time this product gets manufactured and shipped, if you have not checked the overall sales of this throughout the year, by the time your inventory gets in, your product will be let's say it gets in November, mid-November. The demand is essentially non-existent. So obviously that's not a product to get into. Actually, the same thing applies to other niches and other times of the year. For example, a big one is the holidays, right? So if your product has a really short lead time or maybe it's already in stocks, a lot of suppliers already have products in stock and all you need to do is ship it. And if they can ship it air shipping with your profit margin still being there, maybe you can get away with kind of sending in your inventory last minute for Q4. And I wouldn't really say last minute. You still need to give yourself a margin. So right now is the time I would be sending in my Q4 inventory because it's getting really close to, especially Christmas, if it's a seasonal item. But let's just take a look at this graph right here. You can see that the sales kind of picks up during certain parts of the year, but it's not very stable. Clearly it's doing really well during Q4, but throughout the rest of the year, it's not quite as high. Is it as low as the first product? No, right? So this is still okay. Maybe you can still sell this and do relatively okay throughout the rest of the year. You just don't want to end up in the predicament such as the first product where there is literally no demand the rest of the year. This one right here, again, really spikes up during Christmas, it looks like, around the month of December. And then once you hit January, it's very, very low, and the exact same for the rest of the year. And then it begins to spike again kind of in the beginning of Q4. So if you were going into these specific Q4 items, right now would be the time to send in your inventory. And also I want you to take a look at these blue lines right here. It's one of my favorite things to look at, and that's the rank of the product. So essentially the sales rank. This actually is inverse to the sales. So the lower the better on the sales rank. So you want to see, if you're analyzing for BSR, you want to see the blue line kind of as low as possible. And you can see right here, the lower it is, the higher the sales. And that's kind of what you're aiming for. If you find products that, let's take a look at this one, for example, decorative lights. So obviously during October, it still peaks really high, and even all the way up until February. But this is a very broad term. So decorative lights could really mean anything. It could be anything from Christmas to kind of Halloween lights, maybe even Valentine's Day lights. That's why the demand hasn't fully died out. And if you go throughout the rest of the year, you can actually see that the demand is still relatively there. So, for example, say if you are looking for a seasonal product that is going to do really, really well during one portion of the year and then not really much the rest, then it's okay to have these kind of spikes in the data as long as you make sure to get your inventory in before that happens, right? Before the spike. And you want to do it well in advance, because now with all the changes, it takes longer for Amazon to check in your inventory and for you to actually get the sales momentum and the ranking up there. So that's okay. But say you're looking for a product that maybe it has a spike during a certain season, but it still does well for the rest of the year, then this is something that would be okay. For example, is these decorative lights. They are doing really well during Q4, still doing relatively okay during the rest of the year. So you can say that I can get this item, if I get it in before Q4, I will make the kind of sales bonus, but then through the rest of the year, they will still be moderately selling, and that's okay. It really depends on your goals and your timing. And the biggest thing I could tell you is timing. You must time this all correctly. So I hope that this video was helpful, and subscribe to this channel, like the video, and I will see you in the next one.